guys, what is up? My name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Welcome to day 12 of Bookmas. Today we are going to react to the Goodreads Choice Awards winners for 2020. This is a very impromptu video. I usually really love seeing people's reactions, and for the first time I thought, why not film mine? So I've been trying to stay away from all the spoilers, all the things on Instagram and Twitter and people talking about it, so that I can have genuine reactions on here, and so far I've been successful, so we're not going to put it off more. Goodreads Choice Awards, there's always something that are kind of controversial because they're known not to be as objective maybe as other awards because it's based mostly on popularity. People haven't really read all the books in a certain category before they vote for a book, and it's just a lot, and it's usually a lot of the bigger white names like Sarah J. Maas, for example, or Stephen King. These kinds of people who win the awards because they have the biggest population of readers, and just I feel like white voices are always heard more than others. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more representation in here, whether that be racial, cultural, or sexual orientation even. So let's hop on in. I will put a screen recording and I can react to it at the same time. So we got the trusty computer. Let me start recording. So we are on Goodreads, and the first thing I see is the results are in. So let me click on there. Oh my god, I'm scared. View results. I don't want to see. Best fic. Yes! We're starting off with a bang. The best fiction winner is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, which if you've been following my channel, you would know that book. Absolutely adore it. It's a story of this girl who has had a very hard time with her life, and she decides to commit suicide, so there are a lot of trigger warnings, but then she ends up in this place called the Midnight Library where she can see all the different variations of her life depending on the choices she could have made, and it's her trying to find the perfect life, and a lot of life lessons are learned along the way. And Matt Haig is a big advocate for mental health. He himself has had very big difficulties with mental health, and so he portrays it a lot in his books. Our main character suffers from depression, and I'm just very happy that this one won. Like, I obviously gave it 5 stars, one of the best books of the year, so I do agree. But let's see. Then we had Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, which is one book that I really want to read. Spoiler alert, I got that for myself as a Christmas gift, so it should be arriving soon. I've heard a lot of problematic things about American Dirt, which would be the third book that won with, well, like the third runner-up, which had 67,000 votes. Anxious People had 72,000. Ooh, Jesus. 72,823, and the Midnight Library had 72,828. How incredibly, whoa, that was a close call. And then Such a Fun Age, which had 59,356, which I have read that one, not given it an official rating because I think it's very important, but I didn't necessarily like the narrative of the story, like the way it was told. And then we obviously have My Dark Vanessa, which had 48,664 votes, which again, this is a book I started but I put down. I think it would have been a little bit too heavy for my mind space that I had at the time. So let's move on to Mystery Thriller. I'd like try to not. The Guest List, another one which I personally loved. It's also one of my favorite books of the year, and it won by a pretty significant landslide. Again, Lucy Foley, for one, I'm happy she's a woman, and also she's not like the best known thriller author, I don't think. So it's very interesting to see that she won. I am very excited. I love that book. I have a reading vlog, I think, where I read it, or I know I have a wrap-up I could link in the cards that I have. Okay. So for that one, the guest list actually won with 73,605 votes, and then Home Before Dark, which is another thriller that I read and really enjoyed, I gave that one 4 stars, was the second runner-up, well, I guess the first runner-up, with 35,356 votes. I'm really happy to see When No One Is Watching in the top 4 with 33,068 votes, because that is written by Alyssa Cole, who is an author of color. How is The Wives in the top 5? All I've seen are terrible votes. Very interesting. Oh, The Night Swim Dang. Didn't do that well, which I feel like a lot of people might have been disappointed. And then we have historical fiction, which I don't have much to say about. Oh, okay, but this is extremely exciting because The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett has won with a very big discrepancy of 102,626 votes, and the other one has like 34,000. The Vanishing Half is a story of two black main characters who are sisters. They both leave this town behind when they're 16 years old. One of them becomes a white passing individual who marries into a white family and lives her life, and then the other sister is actually seen as black, and she moves back to this town where she escaped from when she was 16 with her daughter, and it's the story of both these women and both their daughters intertwining together. I think I've heard it tackles a lot of things, and it is on my top priorities for 2021 to read because I've heard so many incredible things, and again, very important read, and this makes me so incredibly happy that it made it to the best historical fiction. What else is on there? I don't really know about. I've heard like about the henna artist, which finished 5th, the Jane Austen Society, heard about, but I don't really care about any of those other than The Vanishing Half. Now fantasy. I'm guessing like Sarah J Maas, if Crescent City is a fantasy. Yeah, there you go. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Well, no, I mean, that one, we all knew it was going to happen. I called it even before I clicked on this video. House of Earth and Blood. It was going to win. And I am not surprised. It got 95,084 votes. But what kind of surprises me is that The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue finished second with 93,000. So there weren't that many votes that separated the two. And then The House of the Cerulean Sea, which ended up being 3rd. Also very exciting, and I am especially excited because The House of the Cerulean Sea is a male-male romance. It is also nice to see that Brandon Sanderson was 4th. Like, there's nothing wrong with him, but I feel like it's an author that is very popular, and N.K. Jemisin, who is another black author, actually ended up finishing 5th, which is all very exciting. Now for the romance category, I obviously feel like my choices will not have won. What was on there that has become very popular is that Jennifer Armentrout, I think. This book, like From Blood. Oh, I don't remember that book, but you know what I'm talking about. From Blood and Ashes or something like that, which is a fantasy romance. Everybody compares it to Sarah J Maas, so I'm guessing maybe it could have won. I didn't read that, but it is on my TBR. Let's see. Okay, it did win From Blood and Ash. That's kind of expected, with 70,896 votes. And if I'm not mistaken, From Blood and Ash is a self-published book, or like from a very small publisher, so it is exciting that a lot more self-published books are out there and getting voted in, and that's very exciting. My vote went to Beach Read, which ended up being 2nd with 60,124 votes. In 5 Years, which I've heard very mediocre things about, ended up 3rd. Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, which Colleen Hoover is another big name. I'm surprised it isn't even further up in the votes. Ended up 4th, and then Boyfriend Material, which I also really enjoyed, ended up 5th. Take a Hint, Danny Brown, I expected to do much better, but it had 26,958 votes. Love that one as well. One to Watch, which a lot of people, such as Jess, has Piece of Books, have mentioned that some of these books should not be considered romances. I don't know where I stand on that. I don't think I know enough about romances, but I loved One to Watch. The Happy Ever After playlist. Jasmine Gilroy, I also enjoyed. You Deserve Each Other. Only 2,139 votes. Oh my god, sweet lord, that hurts me. Read that book. Okay, science fiction. Do I care about any of these? To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. Very popular author. Harold the Ninth finished 2nd. I don't really have an opinion on any of these, so we're just gonna scoop right over. Horror. I'm guessing Stephen King. Oh! Now that's an exciting turn of events. It's actually not Stephen King. It's Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia that won with 85,626 votes. Stephen King ended up second with 47,000 votes. Wow! And the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I'm not surprised. The Only Good Indians ended up in the top 5, which is super exciting. Wow! Humor, do I care? I don't have an opinion on any of these. So we're just gonna move. Oh, The Office book finished 5th, which I'm super interested in reading. Nonfiction. Stamped, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You won, which is great. We love Jason Reynolds. Hood Feminism finished second, sorry. How did... we're just gonna move on, I think. But there are a lot of books about being black, and I really appreciate that, and that it was recognized this year. Memoirs and autobiographies. Don't know anything. Oh, obviously The Promised Neverland. A Promised Land won, which we love. Oh, All Boys Aren't Blue ended up 3rd, which is great. And then Untamed, which I tried reading that, and I'm not sure of the format of the book, but obviously, yay for Barack Obama. I pronounced that weird. Barack Obama. Cast won for Best History and Biography, which I've heard books like Whoa talk about, and I believe she had positive things to say about that. And then The Splendid and the Vile was 2nd, which I've heard about also, so love that. Science and Technology. Look, I don't care for that, so we're just gonna schedule Food and Cookbooks. Still don't care. And then we have graphic novels, which I am guessing that Heartstopper could have won. It's very popular. It was my vote. Let's see. And it did win. So with 44,384 votes, it actually won. 100% my choice. I haven't heard of any of them aside from Fangirl. Check Please ended up like 7th, which is unexpected in my opinion. I thought it would have done a little bit better. I've heard about Dancing at the Pity Party and Almost American Girl, which was great. Monstrous and The Fire Never Goes Out. So I've heard of a lot of these. Oh, Fence Rivals. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That one is starting to annoy me. Poetry, let's see. I used to read a lot more poetry than I do now. Margaret Atwood won. There's Break Your Glass Slipper by Amanda Lovelace, which, if I'm fully honest with you guys, I don't like Amanda Lovelace writing. There's Homebody by Ruby Kaur, which I thought I would have heard more about that. I recently found out she came out with a poetry collection. Maybe it's new. Oh! One of our fellow booktubers made it. Wow! Katie with Poems for the End of the World actually got voted 1,780 times, which I love her booktube channel, and I wish her the best for all her self-publishing endeavors, so this is really cool. For debut novel, there were a lot on there that I really enjoyed. I'm hoping to see diversity in here. Let's see. Such a Fun Age actually won that one, which, since it didn't win in the other category, I think this is really neat. With 52,450 votes, again, a story about Black lives. Then Cemetery Boys, which was very close to winning. And this one is also a very important novel, so that's really great. One to watch, I think, was... Did I vote for any of these? Yes, I voted for You Deserve Each Other. Because I hadn't read most of the other ones. See what I mean by a popularity count. But I also adore You Deserve Each Other. And yeah, I'm very happy with the results for that one, and that Such a Fun Age actually won. Young adult fiction. It's usually very niche for me and very exciting, but this time around I don't actually even remember most of the nominees. So let's just go and see. Clap When You Land. Yes, congratulations to Elizabeth Acevedo. I gave that one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which made the rounds on BookTube and Bookstagram this year. One of Us is next. I need your guys' opinion. Does actually anyone read these books? Because the first book in that series has been on the New York Times bestseller list for like 140 something weeks now. I don't see anyone talk about it or buy it anymore. How has it made it so long on that freaking list? Then we have Felix Ever After, which I wish would have made it in the top 3. You Should See Me in a Crown, yes. The Inheritance Games, I know Jennifer Lynn Barnes is not diverse or anything, but I loved her Natural series, and it's making me even more excited to read that one. Tweet Cute is on there. Yes, Grown 100%, stand by my vote. I just wish it would have been a little higher, like Punching the Air, This Is My America. I wish these books would have been a little bit higher up there. Especially Grown. Young Adult Fantasy and Science Fiction. What big name in fantasy published this year? I don't even know. Oh, Jesus! This almost makes me angry. The Queen of Nothing obviously wins with 62,000 votes. Then The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Then Chain of Gold and Midnight Sun. Why are we... Children of Virtue and Vengeance is interesting because it's by Tomi Adeyemi. Cemetery Boys. Fable is one I want to read. Song of Wrath and Ruins and Legend Board. Cinderella is Dead. They all should have been up there in my opinion from what I've heard. These Violent Delights is actually cool for Chloe Gong. All the Stars and Teeth is what I really want to read. And Ray Bear I've heard so many incredible things about. So I'm surprised it's not higher up there, but obviously when you're competing with like Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, the options are limited. Middle grade, I'm really hoping that, I think Hollowpox is on there. Yeah, that's my vote. Okay, I did not see this coming. What? The Trials of Apollo. I forgot that one had a book. It's The Tower of Nero. I think it's the last one. Obviously one with 49,000 votes. But you see, I thought maybe that could have happened and then Hollowpox. But Hollowpox ended up 5th. I guess maybe because it's the 3rd in the series. But then again, the School of Good and Evil, One True King, ended up 4th. The One and Only Bob. Oh, but that cover's so cute. Ended up 2nd. I'm honestly kind of shook. And Case and Calendar with King and the Dragonflies, I feel should have been up there. Ghost Squad, I feel like a bunch of people read that one. I am shook to the core. And then picture books, but do we really care about picture books? Oh, Anti-Racist Baby. I like that. Okay. That's a wrap. Let me stop recording. So, I'm very surprised about the middle grade. Especially. Not so surprised for like fantasy and romance because that was kind of expected. I am very happy that Mexican Gothic actually won instead of Stephen King and that a lot of diverse authors are starting to climb up slowly. I just wish more of them were higher up in the ranks and that more people were actually reading them because all this proves is that it's popularity because clearly, and I'm not saying that the authors who won are not authors who are deserving of book titles. I know a lot of them are popular and they're popular because they appeal to the public and they write good books and I get that, but I just think that once your name is made, even if people haven't necessarily read your book or even if there's a better one out there, chances are the better ones aren't going to win because the names are so big. And sometimes, as I've seen in several videos and book talks about the Goodreads Choice Awards, let's say for romance this year, a lot of people thought that One to Watch should not have been on there and it's more like a literary fiction or whatever. There's a lot of different debates on what should be in each category. Kind of like From Blood and Ash, in my opinion. Is it more fantasy or is it more romance? Because we had books on there that had the formula for a romance that maybe could have been higher up if fantasy romance was in fantasy and not romance. I don't know if anyone is catching my drift, and I'm not opposed to that book winning because obviously I want to read it and I'm very excited that it's getting a lot of buzz. I just think that sometimes you just stick a name on a book and it will do so much better than the quality of a book that maybe ended up 10th on the list. It's still very fun to see, and I love voting each year. So those were kind of my overall thoughts. I'm not sure if I don't want to try to do like reading all the books from the Goodreads Choice Awards winners for a series next year. Let me know if you guys would like that. I would possibly be considering doing it because a lot of the books that have won are books I want to read and have on my TBR. So let me know in the comments if a few of you want it. I will do it. So yes, that was it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your opinions in the description, and if you don't have any, just comment a fish emoji, and I'll see you tomorrow with another Bookmas video. Bye guys, happy reading!